Bilal Ahmed once said, and I quote, "Every successful person has a painful story. Every painful story has a successful ending. Accept the pain and get ready for success." Good morning to all successful ladies and women out there. It's a beautiful Saturday morning and time to welcome you to this edition of Feminine Scope on OGBC 90.5 FM. Here we invite distinguished ladies and women who have achieved in life to share their experiences with us so that this generation too can be motivated. My name is Toyin Sogbesan. You are free to call me TeeEss. I have another strong and beautiful woman in the house. She is ready to share her own experiences with us. My guest is Mrs. Oluwatoyin Labode. She retired as the head of local government administration, Olga, Yewa North local government area from Ayetoro. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you, my sister.
You're welcome. If I'm so shocked to see that it's you that's my guest today. It's a very small world.
Yes,
you're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sister.
I didn't know you've retired.
I retired last year to the glory of God.
To the glory of God. We thank God. It is well. For soft landing, we have to thank God.
We thank God.
Yes. So we'd like to know who you are. What was growing up like for you? Who is Oluwatoyin, my namesake? Who were your parents? Where were you born?
My full name is Oluwatoyin Labode, from the Royal House of Dedenigbo, Irunwon. I was born to Prince Peter Ade Otenaike and Olori Beatrice Ade Otenaike in April 1964 at Ilesha. I went to Agbeni Methodist Primary School, Ibadan, for my primary school. And from there, I proceeded to Esif High School, Awa, Ilaporu, and Oru. I finished there in 1988. I then went to State Polytechnic and did my SCOM there. From there, I worked a little. I did my practicals at OGBC and OGTV too.
Are you serious?
Yes. They used to take us about that time.
Okay.
But I did my internship at Nigerian Tribune.
Okay.
I was there from 1984 to 1987.
Nice.
Before I came back to Abeokuta. With one thing or the other, I could not go back for my HND. Incidentally, I wanted to be a medical doctor.
Wow.
Not my own wish.
Not my own wish. Apart.
Not my own wish. It was my mother.
Okay.
And we were so close. I couldn't deny her anything. There, I was very young. When we go out, she see doctors at UCH say, Oluwatoyin, I want you to be like that.
Yeah.
I would so love for you to be like that. So the thing was inculcated in me to become a medical doctor. So I did sciences. But when we were writing our WAEC, I was terribly ill. I took ill at the exam center. But to the glory of God, I was able to finish my papers. My teachers helped me. I used to be one of the top students there, to the glory of God. So they were all out that I shouldn't be one to repeat with all the efforts I've put in. I was even had 3 P's in the sciences. All the others, A and B. But before that time, I was getting matured and I've resolved, do I really want to be a medical doctor? I love the profession. It's a noble profession. But there was a day they cut somebody's leg while we were cutting the weeds there. I fainted.
When you saw blood?
I fainted.
See my doctor.
My housemaster called me and said, Oluwatoyin, how can you be a doctor? You'll be seeing blood every day.
Wow.
And so on. So that man, a Ghanaian, really helped me. He looked at my combination and told me I can still go for arts.
Okay.
That with my combination of subjects, I can go for either the sciences or the arts. So that was how I now resolved. I already did the JAMB, but I didn't even bother to check up because I made up my mind I'm not going to study science. So I didn't check. So a brother said I could still make the poly. I didn't want to sit at home. So I look at the brochure and I pick Mascom. That I love it. I know a little about it. I love reading novels, stories, and so on. That was how I landed on State Polytechnic then.
Poly then.
Yes. So
what year was that?
That was 1982 to 84.
Okay.
So when I finished there, I moved to Ibadan, Nigerian Tribune, to do the 1 year compulsory internship. After we finished the internship, I had problem going back for my HND. There was problem with the computation of my results. We didn't know. The first year, I was not admitted. I now put in for Oyo State because my best friend went back to Oyo State to complete her own. So it was there. A friend of my brother now looked at my transcript. Here at Ogun State, they don't give you your transcripts. They will forward it. But there, they showed it to me. We now looked. They think there was mistake in the computation.
Okay.
My list mark there was 49 and my average was 45. So the man said, how can this be? So we discovered, and he said I had to go back. That the thing still had to go through Senate. That was how I lost the admission. I wept buckets.
Wow.
Because my friends, they were coming out. And everything was just happening here, there, and there, and there. My mother was terribly sick. So the thing was so much on top of me. While I was going through that, and my elder brother now said, Adefunke, that was what they usually call me. Can't you still read? I said, I can read now. Sure, you want me to read something? He said, no, that is serious. That why don't I go for BSc? That is better than HND. That I may not be able to get to the top of my career if I go for HND. I never knew that. I said, actually, I will go for BSc then. So that was how I began. And incidentally, you may call me what they call precious baby. Okay. My mother stayed for over 20 years before she had me.
Oh.
So they all love me and to try to take care of me. So, and she was so anxious, very anxious. You know, I ought to be a grandchild to her.
So
she always follow me to all these schools. She will follow me. She will follow. They will say, Grandma,
hey,
sit down, and they will help us. So that was why I now put in for JAMB. And while doing that, I got advanced level 2, A-level, and was reading at home for that one. I did it thinking maybe if I could make it, I'll cut a year there. I'll just spend 3 years.
Yes.
But unfortunately, I think I made 1 or 2 papers. I can't remember. So I now did the JAMB. That was how I went to go to Ogun State University then for economics.
Oh, wow. Beautiful. What a story. Miss Otenaike. That's Deolu. Yes. Deolu, our own Deolu.
Yes, he's my youngest brother.
He's your youngest brother.
My youngest brother, my firstborn.
He happens to be my VAR for this year.
He told me.
I'm his value. He picked me as his value. That's beautiful. Now, going with your story, I'm sure a lot of young ladies or young girls today would have learned a thing or two.
Thank you.
In all this, would you say you regret anything?
I didn't.
Even with your experiences?
I didn't.
Hey,
you know, it's something.
After Wendy,
my sister, because you can tell story, something happened.
Yes.
And I believe in all this. God has been guiding my steps.
Oh, wow.
Even though I didn't know Christ the way I know him now. Okay. When I accept Christ, I'll drop him at one point.
Wow.
And then pick him up again.
Because of challenges of life?
You know, challenges will make you accept. But when you are not deep, like they sit by the roadside, when you comfort will make you live.
Like your name. Like your name. Wow.
So I think God has been so good to me. He has been guiding my steps, even though sometimes I think I may think it's long. Like when I said I was at Nigerian Tribune, I was there for more than 3 years. They did not absorb us. They said they do not absorb.
So you were freelancing with them?
Yes.
For 3 years?
Yes. Oh, wow. They said they don't employ OND. It's BSc or HND.
Okay.
And there was no job with my OND. My mother said stay there. And I was doing this thing, interviewing artists.
Okay.
So I always have byline. They will see it. People in my mother's area, Agbeni market. Mama, Jebu, we've seen your daughter, so they will buy Nigerian Tribune because of that. So my mother loved that. She said I should go there, and she was very well to do. So I wasn't lacking money or anything.
Okay.
So, but when she became ill, it was very terrible.
Wow.
We were taking her from one hospital to the other. It even got to a point. UTH rejected her. They said we should go home and maybe facilitate and so on.
Okay.
So that time I was at my lowest ebb with the school issue and so on.
And all that.
I went to Mr. Felix Adenike. He was the editor-in-chief there.
Yes.
And said, I used to call him Daddy. How can you help me? He said he's sorry they cannot. I said that is the policy. But if I get any other place, he will put in word for me. I said I want to come back to Abeokuta. Maybe I'll be able to go for the HND. They've now corrected my results and I'll be able to. But I was thinking I'll go for. But because of the money and my mother's situation, she was the breadwinner. My father was dead a long time ago.
No.
So I was thinking I'll finance and so on. But I was praying alone too. So he now gave me letter to Abeokuta, to Mr. Fasi Yusuf. He was the commissioner for information.
Then.
He too said they don't take OND. But if I get work elsewhere, I said I don't mind though. I can take lower something. We laughed. I said they like your spirit. But it seems they will be employing at Ministry of Education. That was how he put a call through to Mr. Bangwil.
Oh, Mr. Kola Bangwil. God rest his soul.
Amen. He was such a lovely man. So that was how I went for him that interview, and I was employed there. I was there for 2 years. So while there, I started to save like nobody's business. I started saving because I wanted that book to read. So in the church, you see people who are well read, the way they move, the way they dress, and so on. My mother could not read. I was the one that taught her how to read and write.
Really?
Yes, and she would write me letter. So I saved. I did the JAMB. The following year, I entered Ogun State University. I was determined.
Did you resign before you went in to Ogun State University?
Yes.
Okay.
Though I was promised that if I get the something, that maybe I will put in for study leave. I was due for it. But unfortunately, the baton changed and the person that came in said I should just resign. I made up my mind. I already prayed that God will do it. Once I enter, I won't leave before finishing. That was how I went.
Okay.
That was how I went.
You went into
God,
the
then
gentle as you are, looking at you, who know that you talk so much.
I'm a storyteller. I'm a teacher too.
I said that you are a real storyteller. But let me bring you back a little. When you left Ogun State University then, now Olabisi Onabanjo University, did you start work immediately?
No.
What happened?
I went for
I want your
service.
job career.
Okay. I went for service at Calabar, Obubra.
Okay.
I was heavily pregnant.
Oh, you were married?
Yeah, I was married.
Okay.
My father-in-law, a lovely, gentle man of blessed memory, said his son cannot wait until I complete my education. So my mother-in-law too said they will take the child, that the university education does not stop one getting married.
Okay.
So, and thank God we agreed. The Baba just did my introduction and died the second day.
What?
So I would have felt bad. I think he saw it, that his time is up also. So my husband went with me to Obubra. When I got there, the lady in charge, the camp director, said he cannot take me because I could drop anytime.
You are heavily pregnant.
This third day I came back, I delivered my baby. So we couldn't get a job. So a friend of my husband told me they are taking PCA teachers at Safro, African Church Grammar School in Teko. So I went for it and I was taken. I was teaching economics. That year I helped them presented a set for WAEC, and to the glory of God, they did well. So a friend now took me to Ministry of Education. Where she was going there.
Okay.
And for her own employment. Me, I said I don't want to teach. So, but she said I should accompany her. When we got there, my brother-in-law, Alaji Chief Labode, already gave me a note. He gave me a card. But I said if I get teaching job, they won't help me.
So Malga was your brother? He's still your brother-in-law. Wow.
He is. So I said I will not present it. So when we got there, the man attended to the lady. I said, "You young lady, are you not looking for a job?" I said, "No, sir." My friend said, "She's looking for a job, Ojada. She's from Alaji Labode." That was how I was placed, and they said they need economics teacher urgently at AGGS.
Okay.
That was how I was there. So I was there and I was praying that God, I want something more challenging than this. I love the profession. It's a noble profession. And by the grace of God, I think I'm a born teacher because that is my ministry. I was writing application everywhere. That was how I got the job at a local government service.
Okay.
So
what year was that?
That was 1996.
Okay.
I was employed as planning officer.
Okay. You didn't transfer your service?
I did.
Okay.
I transferred my service. Immediately I came, my husband told me that it's better I transfer my service. It's likely I will retire earlier.
Okay.
Before I reach the 35 years.
Okay.
That it may be age that will make me at 60. So I transferred my service, and it helped me in my progression. So I was put at Akomoje, Abeokuta, not local government. That was where I first started my
career in local government
service. From there, I was transferred to Owode local government, where I was for 7 years.
Wow.
Because there was zero allocation problem then in the 1990s to 2000. So I was there for 7 years. Later, I was there. I was transferred to Iwekuru local government.
Okay.
While I was at Iwekuru local government, the government sponsored me for master's program at Ife.
Okay.
OAU, Ife. So I really enjoyed, because that time I was having challenges at home. So I was asking God, God, I need you to intervene. I need you to intervene. You have to do something further. So God just gave me that long holiday. I went to Ife for 2 years. Wow. And I really enjoyed myself. So
after Iwekuru?
From there, when I came back, I was transferred to Odeda. Local government. All
within Abeokuta, Ogun Central.
Yes.
I want to listen to when you went to Ogun East, Ogun West.
While I was at Owode,
okay,
I was transferred to Ishara.
Okay.
Remo. But I only stayed there 1 day.
1 day?
No.
You legged it back?
No, not
you
out of my own something. No, I didn't.
You did not leg it?
It was my chairman, Engineer Oni.
Okay.
Olakunle Oni. He said, now communicated with the local government service commission, and they discovered that it wasn't really me. That the chairman there at Ishara said he wanted a planning officer. He didn't have. Okay. You know, they were newly created local government, and 15 of us were first employed for the 15 local government because before they increased it. So my own chairman said he doesn't want another officer.
Okay.
So mistakenly they thought it was me, and he said no. The thing became, but he now took my posting letter and brought it to the States, and they said I should stay back. Okay. That was how I was stayed back. They usually circulate us in the senatorial, especially ladies, to help them because of their family.
Okay.
Yeah, but sometimes you can't be. So I was at Ewekoro, from there to Odeda.
Okay.
At Odeda again, I was there too. Mommy
and daughter. Yes. My guest on Feminine Scope this morning is Mrs. Oluwatoyin Comfort Labode. And how did you meet your husband? When did you get married? How old were you?
Yeah, I said I went to university.
Can you imagine? Wow, what a journey. Because of our time, I just want you to advise this generation. You're a mother, you've been persistent, you went through a lot, and despite everything, you still decided, no, I must forge ahead. Can you give this generation a word?
I will advise our younger generation, whatever you are facing, make sure you stay put. God has program for all of us. It's because we do not have patience that we go haywire, that we take wrong choices. But if you know God and you stay put on Him, you ask for His advice and you have patience, God will take you where He's taking you. When I was at that university, God used a sister-in-law to help me. People that clean the road.
Okay,
that
environment.
Clear the edges. No, they
different.
It's a federal.
Is it different?
It's not different. It's not different. ND.
Okay.
So they gave us that job. They pay us 150 naira per month.
You took the job?
I did do.
Wow.
Clear the road we would do. The thing is written. It's not written on my forehead now.
You were sweeping the road? Wow.
I was cleaning the local government, and so I was posted to the local government. Ijebu North.
Okay,
Ijebu Bo. I was there. So I was doing the work and I met with the divine favor. My lecturer saw me. He will, when I come to the class, I'm late. He doesn't berate me. He will say,
"But where was your mom then?"
My mother was terribly ill.
You said
we even thought she was going to die.
Yeah.
It was the grace of God, but God saved her.
So you had to go do all this manual job to survive.
To sustain and train myself.
Okay.
My younger ones were still at school too. The shuttling was much because our shop, we kept our shop, so I monitored the shop. When I restock there, my sister, when she came back from school, would stay at the shop, and our neighbors there, they will help us to monitor the shop. The people beside both sides, because my mother brought them there, so they would help and sell for us, and nothing got missing.
Yeah.
When we came back as we
that communal thing was there. Like now, you are not the party type, are you?
No.
Do you go to parties?
I do.
You do?
Yes.
What type of parties do you attend? Because to me, you don't look like a party type. Or you look like Mama Jesus.
I am a daughter of Jesus. But at the same time, God doesn't say you should do it. If you are doing party now, come now.
You come, sure. But I'm sure you won't attend discos.
No, I don't.
No, you don't do that. Okay. When you do all this at Osu?
We did do before I accepted Christ now. Even with my heavy pregnancy.
You went down. And Christ took that away from you. We thank God for mercies received. So what type of music would you want me to play for you now?
I love gospel music.
Okay. Who is your favorite artist?
Shola Alison. Yes.
Shola Alison.
Yes.
That's what you want.
I want
it. Okay. We'll play
it's only God.
It's only God.
Me this way I am
exactly.
Now.
Exactly.
Onídúró mi ẹ ṣé o, aláàánú mi ẹ ṣé o, ìrànwọ́ tó fún mi ní ìrànwọ́ ẹ ṣé o, bó bá ṣe ènìyàn ló dúró ènìyàn ti máa kú, bó bá ṣe ènìyàn ló dúró ènìyàn ti máa ṣàròyé. Onídúró mi ẹ ṣé o. Ènìyàn ti máa kú, wá ti máa tìrẹ̀kú. Bó bá ṣe ènìyàn ló dúró, ènìyàn ti máa sì. Onídúró mi o. Onídúró mi ẹ ṣé o. Aláàánú mi ẹ ṣé o. Ẹni tó wà lẹ́yìn mi ẹ ṣé o. Èmi ẹni ìkọ̀sílẹ̀, ó gbà mí ò gbé mi ró ẹ ṣé o. Àpáta káfíńrà tùpà ayé wa tùpà tó máa fi wò mí Olúwa. Onídúró mi ẹ ṣé o. Èmi ẹni ibi tí mi ò bá ti báyé rìn lọ ẹ ṣé o. Ó mú mi dúró lórí ẹsẹ̀ mi, màá dúró lórí ẹsẹ̀ mi títí dalẹ́ ẹ ṣé o. Ìwọ ni ìgbẹ́kẹ̀lé mi kò sẹ́lòmíì ẹ ṣé o. Aláàánú àwọn aláàánú mi Olúwa ẹ ṣé o. Olùrànlọ́wọ́ àwọn olùrànlọ́wọ́ mi Olúwa ẹ ṣé o. Bó bá ẹ ṣé ibi tẹ́ bá dé. Àdúpẹ́ o Jésù, your faithfulness is enduring. Olúwa ẹ ṣé o.
Ẹ ṣé ibi tẹ́ ti bẹ̀rẹ̀, ẹ ṣé ibi tẹ́ bá dé. Àdúpẹ́ o Jésù, ibi tẹ́ mú wa lọ.
Onídúró mi ẹ ṣé o. Onídúró mi ẹ ṣé o. Aláàánú mi ẹ ṣé o. Gbogbo àwọn tó yẹ kó tọ́jú mi wọ́n kọ̀ mí lẹ̀ ó gbé mi rán ẹ ṣé o. Aláàánú mi ẹ ṣé o. Bó bá ṣe ènìyàn.
Bó bá ṣe ènìyàn ló dúró, ènìyàn ti máa mú.
Wọ́n á ti máa mú.
Bó bá ṣe ènìyàn ló dúró, ènìyàn ti máa sí rẹ̀ mú. Onídúró mi ẹ ṣé.
We thank you for finding time to be on this program
Thank you
today.
so much.
Thank you, and I wish you
really
the
enjoyed it.
best in retirement.
Thank you, my
And
sister.
I'll join you very soon too. Now
You are welcome. I see your senior, dear.
You are still my senior.
Yeah,
Never
dear.
mind.
You are welcome.
It is well. So that's it on today's edition of Feminine Scoop on OGBC 90.5 FM. Again, I thank my guest, Mrs. Oluwatoyin Comfort Labode, retired head of local government administration, Olga Yewa North local government in Ayetoro. I also thank my producer, Temilade Tijani, assisted by Fumilayo Akintoye. My studio manager is Femi Akinola. My name is Toyin Sogbesan. You call me TeeEss. Do enjoy the rest of your weekend. Good morning.